Hey, welcome to the Ready to Lose podcast, where we look at what's going on in our brains to create the health and weight loss that we want. My name's Billy Blake, and I'm a certified life and weight loss coach determined to help women love themselves all the way to their goal. It's time to start losing weight in a way that actually feels like us and creating that healthy life that we love showing up for every single day. So tell me, are you ready to lose? Let's go. So I was scrolling through Reels the other day, as one does, and I stumbled upon this quick hits type of video from a woman who has, I think, lost 100 pounds herself. I'd never seen her content before, but she does these live Q&As. And so someone, maybe it was her, had put together a video of all of these quick hit, tough love kind of comments she says on these live videos, right? She rapid fire answers questions. And I think that's what she does. So I didn't actually follow her, but if she shows up on my page, I will link her account if I stumble upon it, okay? I will link her and give her credit. But during one of them, okay, the whole point of this being that during one of them, someone asked, if I went to Chick-fil-A one last time yesterday, can I still lose weight by summer? To which she replied, you'll never lose weight. And that's like all she said. Obviously, there's probably more to the answer than that. And it sounds a bit harsh. And I think that's why this video was getting so many views, is that a lot of her responses are blunt and tough love and harsh in a way like that. But even though I felt like it was harsh, I also kind of agreed with her. She had a really good point. Now, obviously, I believe that anybody can lose weight if they want to, and I don't even know this person who asked, but the question itself, okay, and I think this might have been where she was coming from too, but when I heard that question, I went one last time, can I still lose weight by a certain time? The question itself hinted at a deeper problem that will keep this person from losing weight. It is the what can I get away with mindset. Can I go to Chick-fil-A one last time? What if I just finish off the Oreos? Do I still have time to be in a bikini by summer? Will it really matter if I have extra pizza tonight? What can I get away with is that mindset of I'm just going to white knuckle it until I reach my goal, until summer comes around. I'm counting down until I can stop doing this. I need one last treat before I have to be quote unquote good again. Or once I hit my goal, I'll just go back to normal. And yeah, if that's how you approach your weight loss and your health, you will never lose weight. That is a trap that keeps you using extreme methods for weight loss that you can't stick with, so you burn out or fall off. Then you use that as your chance to eat all the things that you quote unquote can't have if you want to lose weight until the next time that you're feeling bad about where you're at or how you feel and you decide you have to recommit to something else extreme, some other extreme method so you can do it all over again. So the problem isn't Chick-fil-A. I've coached many, many women on how to eat fast food in a way that doesn't sabotage their weight loss anymore, okay? But the problem is treating weight loss or your health like a temporary challenge or even like a jail sentence instead of thinking of it as an awesome lifestyle that you're building, that you even enjoy. I went one last time. Do I still have time to get to my goal? What can I get away with goes hand in hand with the thought that losing weight is going to be awful and hard. They are two sides of the same coin. Losing weight has to be so awful and hard, so what can I get away with when I want to or when I need it or when it's feeling extra awful? And I know that some of y'all clicked on this episode because you were thinking, oh my gosh, what can I get away with if I want to lose weight? I know that you are here listening, okay? What are the secret things that you're going to tell me I can avoid or not do? Because you are thinking that this is some hard punishment that you have to live through. So what are the things that I could get away with doing? You have got to learn how to fall in love with the process. I was on a group coaching call with one of my coaches earlier this year, and she said this, and it reminded me of how important it is to manage your mind with your goals. Because getting to your goal will feel hard at times. You have to do something different than you're used to doing, than you're doing right now. So of course, it's going to feel a bit hard and uncomfortable, but you can use your brain as a tool and fall in love with that process. One example I was thinking of today is how much I love going to the gym. Even when I'm feeling like crap, even when it feels hard, it's feeling awful, when I'm feeling weak, like I haven't made any progress, I still love going to the gym. I love being someone who's a regular at my gym, who pushes herself and is getting stronger, who starts her day with at least an hour dedicated to herself and her body and her health. I do love being that person who is doing that process, even when it's feeling bad. Now, there are other areas in my life where I want to grow and expand, and it struck me that I haven't worked on my mindset in those areas. I'll be honest with you, one of those areas is running a business. Not the coaching or podcasting or content creation. Like, I feel so confident in all these little roles in my business, okay? I am a great little employee, you might say. I like coaching our clients. I love creating content and tools that help people lose weight even better, even easier. But all the back end stuff of organizing, planning out goals and launches for Ready to Lose, I don't think anybody loves this, but like the taxes side, the finances side, like really looking at my business as a whole, I have not done the work to fall in love with that. Like, I was walking out of the gym and it just hit me. I was like, oh my gosh, how can I push myself to do goblet squats? Feel like crap. I genuinely do not like them. Make myself pick up that heavier weight and overall enjoy it. I don't even like goblet squats, but I enjoy that process. I overall enjoy that. But an expenses spreadsheet, that sends me over the edge? Like, huh? So part of my work this year is being someone who doesn't just have a business, but someone who loves the process of running that business, someone who loves being a business owner, if that makes sense. So some of y'all right now are thinking you would love to have a smaller body or a fitter body. You think you'd like to have a healthier life, but you don't love the process of building that healthier life. So to make it a little clearer, I'm going to tell you how I did this with exercise, okay? I'm going to tell you step by step how I built this I love the process mindset. I used my brain to help me love exercise. But I want to tell you that it's so easy to look at someone who loves going to the gym and be like, oh, they just were born liking that. That's just so much harder for me. We talked about some of those mindsets a couple episodes ago, right? Where it's like, oh, why is this so hard for me? It shouldn't feel this way. Like, I want to tell you that I used to think, what can I get away with exercise? I went hand in hand with the hard and extreme method, but I would do those bikini body guides, right? Like a 6-week bikini body guide. I'm sure you probably know who I'm talking about, but I would do one of those. And I hated those workouts. That was like, how long was the workout? It was like 25 minutes or something, 28 minutes, I think. And I definitely hated every second. The problem isn't even the workout, right? Because eventually I did get to a point where I did finish one of those guides. Once I got really confident with my exercise, I was like, let's see if I can conquer this bikini body guide. I kind of like just wanted to. I wanted to test myself, see if I could do it. The problem wasn't even the exercise. It was that I was just pushing myself to do something that was harder and more extreme than where I was at currently. Okay, that's why it never worked for me. But anyway, when I was doing one of those, back when I was like, okay, I'm going to go from not working out at all to now doing a bazillion burpees, I'm passing out while I'm trying to do this workout, I would use this mindset of what can I get away with, right? Well, if I don't work out today, I could double up tomorrow, or I still have a few more days to fit it in, right? Like I would do that until the end of the week came and I didn't do any of the workouts. All of a sudden I'm supposed to do 3 in one day or something, I would use that what can I get away with mindset because I was doing something hard and extreme. So I wasn't always feeling this way about exercise, okay? I didn't always love doing it, but I want to tell you how I got here, okay? Whether it's with exercise, with food, with any healthy habit, it's the same process. So to make it clearer, I'm going to share how I did it. First, I did make a commitment, okay? How often was I going to show up for and how long and why did I want to do that, right? Not just cut out Chick-fil-A because I want to be skinny or run 5 miles a day because I want to be skinny. No, I was currently not working out at all. So I did let it be doable. I committed to 3 times a week for 15 minutes. Y'all have heard me talk about this before on here. I used a minimum baseline to eliminate some of my obstacles to showing up. I wanted to make it so freaking easy to show up that I had to do it, basically. Unlike these other workouts where when I would start, maybe it was also just 3 times a week, but they were so hard that it was just one more obstacle to get me to show up. So I made them so easy that I basically had to do it. There was no excuse for not doing it. But then the extra piece that I did was that I worked on loving it, okay? There were days that I would drive there, which was about 15 minutes. I'd sit in my car for another 10 to 15, maybe even 20 minutes in the winter, okay? I would get stuck scrolling my phone or not wanting to walk in. You know how it is. You know what it's like to get stuck in your car at the gym. And then I would stay for only 15 minutes and drive home, okay? Nobody was giving me awards for being the most dedicated gym girl in the world. But I decided to let myself feel so good about it. When I was there and when I left, I would spend the entire drive home cheering myself on for being someone who went to the gym. Good job. You're a gym girl. You're so freaking awesome for showing up. I'm someone who goes to the gym. I did some shoulder exercises today. Heck yeah. I loved myself for showing up. This will not work if you dread going, you do it, and then you beat yourself up for not staying longer or beat yourself up for not working harder while you're there. That feels awful. Like you did something hard, even if it was just mentally hard, and then you tell yourself that it's not good enough? Ew. I would quit that in a second. That is why I would always quit in the past, right? Like, what's the point if it's not good enough? I want to give you one other example of this because one of our clients, I feel like I told this story recently, but maybe I've just been talking about a bunch in coaching because it's such a relatable example. But this client was stressed about work and she was looking at her year for 2026 and she's like, this year is going to be so freaking awful. And I was like, well, why? Right? Because for her, it is related. Right? Your work stress is often related to your eating habits. I'm sure some of you have experienced this. For this client, it definitely is. She gets so quote unquote hungry. She gets extremely hungry. And the common factor when she has weeks where she's extremely hungry is that she is extremely stressed about work. So it's not hunger, it's emotional eating. Anyway, so we talked about it. Why are you so stressed about work? And part of her work is that it's never going to be done completely. She has an idea. There's an idea of how it could go perfectly, but with the time constraints and how many projects there are and how things are always moving, usually things get to like 80, 85%. Okay. And that's good enough. And part of her knows that each project kind of ends up that way. But when she does that, when she shows up doing the most for her work, like she's doing it, she knows that she is showing up to the best of her ability with this job, and then she reaches that 80, 85% and it's done, she will then tell herself it should have been better. No wonder you're hating your job right now. That feels awful. It's like you swim across a lake and you're like, you're out of breath, you're freezing cold, and someone's standing there. You're trying to get out of the lake. You're like, I did it, I made it. And they're like, your form was awful. You should have done that better, faster. No, ew. Anyway, but so many of us are doing this. I say ew, like it's so easy to say that when it's outside of us, but a lot of us are doing this, right? And it feels natural and normal to do this. In fact, it even feels like maybe I'm motivating myself by being hard on myself. You're not, you're just being a bully, and no wonder you hate doing the thing. Anyway, so I decided to do this extremely different for me, right? In an extremely different way and let myself feel good, even though I was only there for 15 minutes, even though I just did some shoulder raises, right? I let myself feel good about it. I stopped telling myself it wasn't good enough. Anyway, so then I built that commitment up, okay, to 4 and then 5 and then 6 days a week, proving that it is good enough, okay? Like if I did that and I said, oh, this isn't good enough, why do I bother? I never would have gotten to that point where I was doing it each day, okay? And then I started feeling excited about going each day. I loved going. I loved being a gym girl. Yeah, I probably did gaslight myself into thinking this. Every day when I left and I would just think, wow, good job. I did it. I am a gym girl. I'm someone who shows up each day. People probably recognize me now because I go so often, right? I started to then actually be excited about it. Then I had my next level up, okay? Which was, I didn't want to just be someone going to the gym. I wanted to be someone who moved my body every day. If I was at the gym or not, I wanted to be an active person, someone who lived an active lifestyle. So that could have been the gym or a walk or stretching or golf or whatever. So then I started doing the work of loving that. If I got out during my lunch break to walk a bit on the track at the school I was working at, I cheered myself on for that. I started counting everything. If I had to walk extra far to go pick up a student, because sometimes, y'all, I came from a tiny high school. It was not this big. Some of these middle schools I would work at, I'm like hiking. I would get 20,000 steps just walking around looking for students. Anyway, I let myself feel good about that. Cheered myself on for that. I started giving myself credit for everything. And then I would even plan my day that way and think about why I loved the movement that I planned, right? Like, okay, how am I moving my body today? I would ask myself that question each morning. And then I would think about why I love doing that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get out for a walk today. I'm going to walk my dogs today, whatever it is. I had a couple of my students in middle school where we would do exercises as part of their OT. And in the past, I would just like tell kids what to do and maybe demonstrate it. But when I started doing this, one year I jumped in and I would do the exercises with them. I did them right alongside them. I scooted along on the scooter with the kids where I had an obstacle course going. I would scoot along with them because why not? I love moving my body too, right? I could just sit here and watch you for a half hour, or I could just jump in, and it's also just more fun for everyone. Then I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be a strong little girly, not just someone moving my body every day, but someone who was strong. Up until this point, I really didn't push myself too hard with what I was doing at the gym. I just wanted to go. Again, I lowered that expectation. I'm like, we're just going. We're just going. Who knows what it looks like? Maybe it's just some walking. Maybe it's just some shoulder stuff. Maybe it's just some bicep curls. I wasn't pushing myself too hard, okay? I did different exercises, but I wasn't doing that progressive overload with my weights to get stronger. So I started doing that. And y'all, it felt stupidly hard sometimes. I would write down my weights and reps in a little notebook, working out in my basement. At this point, I'd stopped going to the gym, started working out in the basement. And I would just groan at how much I was doing the week before and think like, oh, I have to do that again. It was so easy to think that, okay? But I'd catch myself and I'd think, I am strong. This is part of being strong. And then I would do it. And one rep at a time, I proved to myself that I was strong, that I could push myself. And I was a lot more capable than I thought I was, that my body was a lot more capable than I really thought it was. And now it still feels like crap to pick up a heavy weight. And I still sometimes think, oh my gosh, can I really do this? Sometimes I'm like, do I have to? Who would know, right? But then I remind myself that a strong girl would find out if she could do it or not. She would go for it. And almost always, I am capable of doing it. And I always feel great about trying and showing up as the strong girl I wanted to be. That girl I wanted to be so bad, it feels amazing to show up as her. And now I can confidently say that I am a strong girl. I am that strong girl, one of the strongest girlies I know. And this year, I'm doing the work of loving being a business owner too. It's going to be the same process with its own challenges and obstacles. It feels easy for me to think now that I love going to the gym and I love being strong and I love pushing myself to lift heavier weights. Same thing with this. I love being someone who thinks big about her business, who is showing up, taking care of it each day. Not just doing the things that I currently find fun, which is, the coaching, content creation, that stuff. So what is your process for losing weight this year? Do you love that process? What do you like about showing up for that workout or for your meal plan? Why does it feel great to do it while it also feels hard as heck to do it? I'm going to give you a few more examples, okay? So you love writing a plan and showing up for it each day because you love being someone who does what she says she's going to do with food. You love being someone who is confident around food. You love listening to your hunger cues. Your body feels so freaking good and energized when you do. Even though your brain might be screaming at you for more dinner because it just tastes so good. We deserve it. You love trusting yourself to listen to your body. And every time you do that, you're adding to that identity. You love being someone who does the work to reassure yourself that more food is on the way and that you can have it again. You love doing the work of unlearning diet crap and that clean your plate mentality. Maybe, for you, you love leveling up your foods because your body feels so much better than it did before. Yeah, it's not always your favorite, but not having constant bloat totally is your favorite. This is one of my big ones for my freaking proctalgia, y'all. Okay, y'all know I have proctalgia. If you don't, now you know. There's no TMI here, okay? I get muscle spasms of my pelvic floor. And for years, y'all, the years that I spent in pain because I believed that figuring it out would be too hard, it was so worth it. I love being someone who knows how to support her body with my food choices. I love being someone who knows that future me isn't going to be in intense pain because of the choices I made now. For you, maybe it's your hydration. Why do you love being hydrated AF? Why do you love going to bed on time? Commit to it and then fall in love with that process, whatever that looks like for you. So I would love to hear your thoughts about this episode, or even better, message me and tell me what you love about your health journey over on Instagram or in the comments on Spotify. For any of y'all listening over there, let's inspire each other and commit to loving the process in 2026. That is how you lose weight and keep it off. When that lady said you're never going to lose weight, it's because that person had what can I get away with mentality. I actually can't speak for her. I don't know if that's what she meant, but that's what I mean, okay? That is never going to work for you. You want to love the process. Yes, you know you would love the goal. You know all the reasons why you would love losing weight. Why do you love the process of losing weight? That's how you do it and keep it off. Because when you love the healthy life that you're building, you don't need to fit in Chick-fil-A one more time before summer. Until next week, remember, you've totally got this, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye! Thank you for taking time today to listen in.
If this helped you at all, be sure to share it with a friend so she can stop feeling stuck and start creating the health and self-love she deserves. Or post it to social media and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me get the message out. I am so excited to be on this journey with you. Keep showing up for you. You'll get there. Talk to you soon.